Friends, good morning. This is a lovely day. We have a great meeting lined up with the RI President-elect 21-22, and then of course our management guru, Shiv Khera. I'm just taking another couple of minutes for allowing more people to join in, and we shall start exactly at 11:30. And I've actually muted you all because it was impossible to understand what anybody was saying. So any personal greetings you wish to share, you can do it on the chat on the side. Thank you for your understanding.
Shiv Khera ji has also joined, Rohit ji. And Shekhar ji has also joined.
Welcome, Mr. Khera.
Shekhar ji has also joined.
Sure. I'll just unmute you guys.
Link hai.
Mr. Khera, if you can hear me, I have unmuted you.
They can join. Anyone can join. Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Khera.
Yeah, hi.
Welcome. I request everyone to please switch off your mobiles because otherwise it will be disturbing us in the program. Please switch off your mobiles.
So,
Morning, Shekhar ji. I have unmuted your mic as well.
Good morning, everyone.
morning.
I am also unmuting along with PDG Vinod Bansal's mic.
But just keep the faces on the top panel. Yeah.
Sir, I'll try and pin up the video finally.
Good morning, Shekhar da.
You are also unmuted.
All well, sir.
Shekhar bhai, namaskar.
I am trying to find if PDG Rajesh Batra has joined.
Oh,
I'm not too sure what is his this thing. राजेश जी का किस नाम से उन्होंने साइन इन किया है. In the meantime, let me also find PDG Deepak Kapoor. Deepak ji, I have unmuted you kindly. Yeah.
Yes, I am here, very much here.
Okay, of the panelists, I am yet to find PDG Rajesh Batra. Just let me try and look for him. Rajesh ji at least has not signed in with his own name. Rajesh ji, if you can hear me, can you put in the chat the sign-in name? Okay, now I can see.
Rajesh ji is joining in.
Yeah, I've just seen him. Yes, I have unmuted him. Rajesh ji.
Morning, sir.
For some reason, Rajesh Batra ji is not getting unmuted. Maybe he has not chosen the choice on his own. Yes, now he is. Welcome, PDG Rajesh Batra.
Thank you so much, Rohit.
Friends, we are almost all set to start. Suresh ji, can we begin the meeting?
11:30. It is.
Okay. I'm really happy with the response. We are almost touching 700, and the number of people wanting to join in are just increasing by the minute. I'm also unmuting past Rotary President Raja Sabuji. I saw Shah Belawar somewhere.
We request Raja ji to give his blessings for 2 minutes.
Shah Belawar, if you can hear me, I've unmuted you as well. But kindly keep your background sounds in check. In case there is any noise in the background, please mute yourself at that time.
Okay, yes, I am also airing it on Facebook Live.
Excellent.
It's on me, so you can follow me also.
Done. Thank you so much. And a warm welcome to everybody. I do know there are all Rotarians from across the world, apart from our district, and a lot of non-Rotarians also have joined in. So I'm welcoming all of you to this weekly or fortnightly session of District 3011, where we'll get an opportunity to hear our incoming RI President, Shekhar Mehta ji, and the Management Guru, Shiv Khera. Another 1 minute. Before that, if past Rotary President Raja ji would like to speak, give us a couple of words on his own. Raja ji. Suresh ji, can you hear me?
Yes.
I suppose, do we begin? Do we call the meeting to order?
Yes.
Friends, welcome again. And I request Governor Suresh Bhasin to kindly call the meeting to order.
Welcome, friends. I call this special virtual meeting, our weekly meeting, to order. And I'll do myself now. Friends, I hope you all are and your family members are in good health during this unprecedented period, which is happening in after a century in all over the world. But however, the work is to go on. So during my years as a Rotary, I have learned that there are 4 elements in Rotary. The first one is friendship. Rotary offers opportunity to meet people in a semi-social environment and also achieve good things. The second one is personal development. I am sure by the time the COVID will be over, all of us will be knowing many things. We'll be moving from extravagances to the simplicity. And this is going to teach us so many things. The third is business development. With the passage of the COVID, now most of the people, now they are able to work from home, work from online, and that will be saving many things, but at the same time, our earnings will also be reduced. So therefore, our next weekly meeting will be some high-profile person who will be speaking us on the economy after the COVID. The fourth one is for most and more important is chance to connect the world by opening the opportunities. By this, we all are around the world, from persons from USA, UK, and other places. They are all over here. And we never thought of you will be sitting 800 people in one place, and simultaneously this is being telecast on the Facebook at rotaryindia.org. So friends, in this period of the COVID, what all over India is doing, that will be, Shekhar ji will be doing it. I'll only say what our district has done is, daily we were distributing 14,000 meals in the morning and 10,000 meals in the evening through police administration and through the district administration of Delhi and Haryana. And during this period, we had supplied disinfectants to the Delhi government also for spraying in the places where the food was supplied and in the police stations and other places. And I am happy that with the cooperation of Vinod Bansalji and Delhi Health Minister Sindar Jain, our Rotary Blood Bank was collecting the plasma from the cured patients from COVID, and that was supplied for the future recovery of the other patients. And other thing is one of our Rotarian, she got corona while coming from Spain, and after recovery, she has donated the plasma to the other patient. And that patient is also recovered now. It is the wife of our AKS member, Mukesh Agarwal. And seeing all this, we started with to do something different. So we have planned for 28 ambulances. Out of the 4, the delivery has already been taken. The rest are on the way. And seeing the last two days newspapers, so there is a shortage of the beds in Delhi. So we are planning to have the global grant for the beds in the for providing it to the hospitals. And first of all, my apologies for not addressing the Rotary International President nominee Shekhar Mehta ji. We welcome you, sir. We also welcome past RI President Raja Sabu ji. We welcome you. And I also welcome the man who is doing motivation to so many people, who is doing the work, and he'll be our speaker today. The motivation speaker, Shiv Khera ji, he will be with us. And we have got Shah Bilawar from USA. He is the man who conducted the Rotary Foundation workshop in our district, and in which 8 grants were finalized on that day. And the biggest one was $348,000 for making of operation theatre in Satya Sai Hospital, Palwal. And the other things are going on, but the basic thing is now we have to go in for the strengthening of our Rotary and how do Rotary is to be built up. So for that, we have got with us our senior incoming world leader. So he'll be explaining us about the positions which we'll be facing now and the difficulties and how we can educate our young generation to make India a beautiful world in the coming times to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sureshji. Friends, for a better experience, there is a choice on the top right side of your screens, which talks of speaker view. If you press that option, you would get the speaker's video pinned on your screens. All of you, if you could do that, it'll give you a better experience, since we almost have 900 people on our participating right away on this chat. It's difficult to find people. Select the speaker view. Now, may I request PDG Deepak Kapoor to kindly introduce the RI President 2021, Shekhar Mehta ji. Deepak ji, can you hear me? Yep, thanks.
Thanks, Rohit. What a travesty of justice. For over 40 years in Rotary, the one assignment that I have been trying to duck is to introduce somebody. And over the last 3 weeks, this is the 3rd time I'm being asked to introduce a dear friend and incoming world leader, Shekhar Mehta. Friends, the most important and difficult task in Rotary is perhaps allocated to the nominating committee for selecting Rotary's next world president. The nominating committee tries to find the best thinker, the best planner, the best visionary. That's point A. Or sometimes they look for the best implementer, the best doer, because the vision is already clear. But rarely, sometimes, they find a visionary and a doer rolled into one. They're lucky, and we are lucky, they found amongst all the candidates Rotarian Shekhar Mehta to be the fourth Indian in 115 years to be nominated as the president of Rotary International for the year 21-22. Can we have a silent applause for that? He's been a visionary and a doer. I'm just going to mention the projects that he's been involved with for sake of time management and brevity. Shelter Box, United Kingdom. Operation Eyesight India in collaboration with the Canadians. Chair of the Strategic Planning Committee. Chair of the Rotary India Literacy Mission, the Rotary Foundation India, the Rotary India Centennial Celebrations, and the Rotary India Humanity Foundation. As director of Rotary International, he helped Rotary add 2 countries to its fold, Bhutan and the Maldives. As a doer, I'm going to just give you bullet points. 500 homes for tsunami survivors, 10,000 shelter kits, 50,000 disaster victims helped, 2,500 heart surgeries for children, and as a visionary, he conceptualized a nationwide Teach literacy program, which has reached out to 50,000 schools and 1.5 crore children. 15 eye hospitals in India have been set up thanks to his intercession, but his biggest achievement is that he chose Rashi Mehta to be his life partner. I hope you all agree with me. Their guiding mantra in life is service is the rent that we pay. Service is the rent that we pay for the space that we occupy on this earth. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome incoming World President of Rotary, Shekhar Mehta. I finished what I had to say. Would you?
Shekhar ji, you are unmuted. Kindly come online, please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Good morning.
I think a wave is a better way of saying good morning on Zoom. I know you can't respond back, all of you. It's absolutely a privilege and a pleasure to be here. Dual pleasure. Pehle to Delhi aa rahe hain, come to Delhi. Suresh has been a very good governor, done some very meaningful projects. Despite the challenges, I must compliment this batch of district governors that despite such challenging times, they have kept their head up, their chin up. They have really galvanized Rotarians into doing some really meaningful work. Very rarely has a group of people given such great leadership in such short time. I'll come to that a little later, why I say this. It's absolutely a privilege to have, I could see Raja Sabuji here. A lot of other friends. I'm not naming each and every one of them, but what a pleasure, because I looked at, there are 35 screens that I had to go through to. I looked up to 20 and then I had to come back. Also a great privilege to be listening to Shiv Khera. It so happens that Shiv and I yesterday had a separate meeting about some long-term plans. Shiv has influenced me always, even when I was the district governor. Shiv was the chief guest at my district assembly, and he was the guest of honor at the conference. So I really like his style, the way he presents things, the way he talks. Very simple words, very simply presented, but leaves lasting impressions in the minds of people. So it's great. Friends, I'm going to speak to you about Rotary's role in nation building. So we've just completed 100 years of Rotary. This year is the 100th year of Rotary in India. 115 years worldwide. In India, it's 100 years. When an organization becomes 100-year-old and it has in its fold people like what I see on the screen right now, not one, but each screen I go, it's better than the previous screen. Such outstanding people are members of this organization. I often keep saying, you are about 3,500 members. Suresh Bhasin, you are the leader of those 3,500 people. Your chief minister also does not have 3,500 people of such caliber. Think it. Rajesh Batra, Vinod Bansal, I can see the two of you on the screen. Just think over this. Have you ever thought this way? That your chief minister does not have 3,500 people of the caliber that are here in your district, and yet he is running the state. So why should you not be building the nation? Why should you not help? Your work has to be such that you are seen as builders of the nation. Rotary now has come of age in India. I've always said, it is the shining star in the Rotary galaxy. Okay, 1 minute on why do I say it's the shining star? It's the brightest shining star, let me tell you. Highest membership growth. The highest number of projects. If we do $22 million of projects, the next country is only doing at $4 million. So 5 times the number 2 country is what you do, what we do as projects itself. Add to that, our contributions are second highest. But mind you, the first is by US, where $1 is equal to 75 rupees. If you multiplied our contribution by 75, you know where we will be? In stratosphere, absolutely. So the contributions are high, the projects are high, fellowship is outstanding, membership is growing. What else can you expect from any region, any country in the world? So I say we are the brightest shining star. So I would love that Rotary now takes over at India level programs and projects which are seen by the club presidents not as projects and programs, but as part of building the nation. You have seen, we have been very recently had some of the best relations with the government, with non-governmental organizations. Today, we are partnering with the maximum number of NGOs, the largest NGOs in India. They are very happy that they are joining with us. We are very happy that we are partnering with them. The same as with the government of India. And that is because, friends, we have started to dream big. If we don't dream big, then we will not do big. And if we don't do big, we will not be recognized. So when minister after minister has come on the Zoom meetings, the first one was Mr. Gajendra Shekhawat, uske baad mein Mr. Harshvardhan came, when our petroleum minister came. To each of them, I have said that in selected areas, Rotary will do 10% of the work of the government of India. Now, I doubt if there are 10 other organizations in India who can say that, or even one more organization who can claim that. Because if 10 of us agreed to do 10%, then the government wouldn't have to do anything. And to say that we will do 10% is a big deal. And you all will remember when we spoke to Gajendra Shekhawat, we said in next 6 years, you want to do 100,000 check dams, Rotary will do 10,000 out of them. The government of India plans to do 100,000 water bodies rejuvenation in India. We have committed, we will do 10% of it. Friends, when you are ready to do 10%, the government also is interested in you. They take you as a potential organization. And we have that potential. 160,000 of us. And mind you, these are families. 160,000 families add the Rotractors. Rotractors are no more a program of ours. They are partners with us. They have equal responsibility in building the nation as you and I have. They are smarter, they are sharper, they are more agile, and they are young. Let's use them as our partners, not as our legs and not as our feet and hands, as we always used to think. Jaake ye tum kar do, jaake wo kar do. Nahi. Let's use their minds rather than their hands and legs. So coming back, add to that the inner wheel. If we put all of them together, we are 300,000 families in India. It's a huge power. So to all the incoming governors, as well as incoming leaders, presidents, I would say, let us take up programs that are of such quantum that the government takes notice of it. I'll give you an example. Rohit, you'll have to take care of that.
My apologies.
So I'll just give you an example. 2 examples by which you will see. ये तो मैंने future की बात कही है. I've said for the future that we will do 10,000. We will do 10,000. Let me tell you what we are exactly doing right now. So 3 years back, we had taken a proposal to Mr. Prakash Javadekar, the HRD minister at that time. We said, you make Rotary to be a partner just as we have done for polio eradication. And we promise to you that we will make India totally literate. I'm happy to say that on 13th of May this year, the policy document has been approved by the government of India, exactly based on what Rotary has given to them. It has come as the Padhna Likhna Abhiyan, under which we have committed. Yesterday, I had a meeting with the Secretary, Government of India, Education, and I confirmed to her that 50% illiteracy we will take care of in the next 5 years' time. 27 crores illiterate in India, 270 million illiterates, adult illiterates in India. So our illiteracy rate is at 74%. If you want to take it to 90%, then we'll have to do something extraordinary. And the extraordinary will only be done when this backlog of 27 crore people that we have who are adult illiterates are made illiterate. I told her that we will take care of half of them. Let the government take care of half of them. Vinod, thank you for organizing that meeting yesterday. So friends, the result is she couldn't believe what I was saying. She was surprised. She said, she couldn't believe what I was saying. She was surprised and she said, wow, thank you so much. I mean, she was profusely thanking Rotary. Why? Because we were trying to do something which was outstanding, which no other organization in India or anywhere in the world will have the courage of going and saying, we will eradicate illiteracy from India in the next 5 years, what has not been done in the last 75 years. And friends, when I say this, we have a plan to do it. We know how we will achieve it. The other thing, e-learning. It was a dream for us. We were wanting in the next 5.5 years, we will want to ensure that each and every child in every school studies by the audiovisual system. Now, Zoom meetings, imagine none of us can see each other. How effective will the Zoom meeting? Not much. But the moment we see each other, moment it becomes audio visual, it leaves an interest, it leaves an imprint in my mind. So when a child sees audio visual, a lesson in audio visual, a complex arithmetic formula being explained to him in a very smart style in audio visual, there is a better retention, better comprehension, more interest, better knowledge for the child. We wanted to do this for all the 25 crore children in India. It would have taken us 5.5 years. I'm happy to tell you this is going to now happen in just 5.5 weeks. Day after tomorrow, we are signing an MOU with the government of India, where we will give the content from class 1 to 12 for 10 Hindi speaking states to start with, and wherever there is English medium, English states to start with, English speaking states to start with. And in the next 1.5 months, all of this is going to get translated into all the languages in India. So friends, 25 crore children who are today sitting at home, not really able to find outstanding content. And this is what she said yesterday, the education secretary, mind you, she is the top person when it comes to education in India. She said, Mr. Mehta, we were looking for the best and nothing less than the best. And she says, the moment I saw what you have given to us, we agree that this is the best we have. They have millions of chapters already, but they have still selected what Rotary has given, because what we have given to them is India's best, if not one of the world's best. So friends, we will have to bring quality, we'll have to bring quantity, we'll have to bring excellence in things that we do. And mind you, this is nation building, where 25 crore children are being taken care of by Rotary India, where we are saying that we will make India totally literate. That is Rotary India. And you, my friends, are the 138th part of Rotary India. Suresh Bhasin, you and your colleagues have done an outstanding work in COVID itself, in such challenging times. You have broken all records that Rotary has ever done as far as charitable work is concerned. We were wanting to give just 25 crores to Rotary, to the PM Cares Fund. I'm very happy to tell you the latest figure is 106 or 107 crores has already gone to the Prime Minister's Cares Fund. I have just held back 1 crore rupees ka ek check, jis din Prime Minister se online meeting ho jayegi, which will happen soon. Virtually, we will present that 1 crore check as a symbolic presentation to the Prime Minister. Apart from that, you, Suresh, and your colleagues have ensured 85 to 90 crores valued of work. And what is it? We have given away nearly 1 crore masks. 1 crore masks, more than 300,000 liters of sanitizers, more than 100,000 pieces of PPE sets. We have given away 4 million meals till now. More than 4 million meals have been given. Not only that, we care to look at the minds of the people. So we have spent nearly 5,000 hours, the Rotarians have spent only counseling people in times of distress during this pandemic. So the work that the Rotarians have done in India is amazing and outstanding, absolutely. This is the sort of work. And when I say we have done total value of work at 200 crores, I would like to always add, friends, 500 crores by a corporate, and all salute to all the corporates in India. But please understand, the corporate gives out of its profit. Suresh, you and all of us get out of our savings. There is a lot of difference. So I compliment each and every Rotarian in Delhi. I know your contribution has been outstanding. Keep doing the great work. And remember, हमको अपनी सोच बदलनी है. इस सोच को इतना बड़ा करना है कि सामने वाला बंदा बोले, मान गए साहब. So Suresh Bhasin, when you or your incoming governor, when either of you go and meet the chief minister, you should have the data of the work that you do. When you speak to him, the chief minister should, अगर आप जाके उसको बोले जी हमने दिल्ली की 100 स्कूल ठीक कर देनी है, तो वो बोलेगा थैंक यू वेरी मच भसीन साहब, नाइस मीटिंग. लेकिन अगर आप जाके उसको बोलो दिल्ली की हर स्कूल को हम हैप्पी स्कूल में कन्वर्ट कर देंगे, तो अरविंद केजरीवाल विल से सुरेश जी चाय के साथ नाश्ता भी लेंगे. That is the difference. So go ahead, you have the potential, you are in the capital You have to lead the way. You have to show the way. Your incoming governor, I think I saw him. ये सुनील और राजीव में मेरे को confusion होता है. Rajiv Mehra is your incoming governor. Compliments to him. All the very best. Just 1 month later, you will take the reins. And please remember, these big dreams is what Rotary in India is going to be made of. Build castles in the air. When we said we will make India totally literate, it was a castle in the air, let me tell you. When we say that we will do 10% of the work of the government, it's a castle in the air. But I knew that 160,000 Rotarians along with me will be ready to put a foundation below those. हवा में महल जरूर बनाइए, लेकिन उसकी फाउंडेशन लगाने के लिए मेहनत फिर करनी पड़ेगी. So let's go out, do that. Suresh, all the very best. Last month hai. Let me also mention, we will go out with a bang on 28th June. 2 days to go in the end of this Rotary year. We will have one of the biggest PR events that Rotary ever has had anywhere in the world. 3 hours on one of the most important television channels. There is going to be only Rotary, Rotary and Rotary. It's on the entertainment channel. You will get information. 99% it's going to be on colors, and the who's who of the sports world, of Bollywood and of the political world will be there to speak about the work of Rotary. About the work of Rotary in COVID, about what we have done for children, and even otherwise what Rotary does. So do not miss that event. Please be there and let us see, and you will be inspired to see what excellent work Rotary does. All the very best. Thank you very much.
Shekhar ji, I'd like to add one thing here. We are doing Asha Kiran. We are going to adopt the children's.
Good.
3 months back, there was a news line in the Tribune paper front page. There are about 8 schools in Palwal district. They are not having the facilities, because of which the number of students in each school is less than 16. So I have requested my president from Palwal, Sachin Jain and Anjali Jain, to visit those schools, and we are going to adopt those schools for the work.
Wonderful, very nice. So let everyone know that 28th June, the program is all about Asha Kiran, about sending children back to school. We had made a commitment, we will send 100,000 children back to school. We've already sent 40,000 of them. And let me tell you, it's a tough job sending one child back to school. जो कि सड़क पे खड़ा होके भीख मांगता है ना, the beggar. That fellow by begging earns 4,000 to 5,000 rupees a month. Why will he be interested, or his parents, her parents, interested in sending that child back to school? It takes a lot of effort. Kabhi kisi din try and do this yourself and you will realize how difficult it is. But we have done this to 40,000 children. We are committed to do 60,000 more, and that is why this fundraiser is taking place. We wish to raise about 15 crores of rupees on that day. I would say each of you, if you want to sponsor a child, one child, the life of that child will change if only you made a contribution of 2,500 to your district. Suresh has already committed 1,000 children are going to be supported by Suresh. But Suresh, my request to you would be, 6 mahine tak baith ke, apart from COVID, you have not been able to do too much. Here is your chance to all your club presidents. Go out with a flourish. जाते जाते कुछ ऐसा काम करके जाओ कि 1,000 नहीं, 2,000, 3,000 बच्चे वापस से स्कूल जाना शुरू करें. Let me leave this thought with all of you. All the best.
With the MCD department, they had agreed to give us 10 schools for adoption in Delhi. But because of the COVID, the work will go on. We'll adopt those schools.
Good, very nice.
And one of our Rotary Club, having 150 lady Rotarians, they have started an adult literacy program in Rohtak. They send their school buses there and bring them for 1 hour, 1.5 hour session, and then they drop them back there. So that work is still going on. And over to Rohit.
सुरेश, एक बात बताऊं,
हाँ जी,
हम सबको जरा सी सोच बदलनी होगी।
हाँ जी,
हमने एक साल में 1.5 करोड़ लोगों को इंडिया में लिटरेट करना है, 1.5 crores, which means each district will have to take care of nearly 50 lakh adults. 5 lakh adults will have to be taken care of by each district. So our thought process will have to be, how will you ensure that 5 lakh people, and I'm telling this more to the incoming governor and the Rotarians in general, that is where your thought process will have to change. Hats off, salutations to all people who do the work. But now is the time to add one more zero to the work that you do. If you are doing 100, do 1,000. If you are doing 1,000, do 10,000. We have the ability and the capability to do that. Let us do that.
Sir, 1 July को Raja ji was the chief guest in our program. और उस दिन I gave them 2 नारे दिए थे, बड़ा सोचो बड़ा करो.
Good.
और दूसरा food for life. और तीसरा मैसेज आई है, this is going to be the Rotary's lifeline.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shekhar. That was truly inspiring, and I assure you, not only District 3011, the Rotarians worldwide and other members across will live up to what your expectations are. And I'm also grateful that you've taken lesser than the time you were allocated, still made a huge impression across.
We start is going to start.
Friends, for people who have joined late, the best experience would be to go to the top right side of your screens and select the speaker view from there. You would get to see this the image of the speaker speaking also at that time. And there are a few people I'm not being able to mute. Certain people who have joined for some reason I'm not being able to mute. Kindly keep your phone, your mics muted over there. Now, time now to listen, brace yourself to listen to Shiv Khera. But before you do that, a little introduction, though the man does not require any introduction across. May I request past Governor Rajesh Batraji to kindly introduce Shiv Khera? Rajesh ji, I have unmuted you. Am I audible? Rajesh ji, can you hear me?
जी अपने आप को unmute कर लें जरा. I've asked you to unmute yourself.
I'm also trying to do that. For some reason, his yeah, now he is on.
Yes, now it's audible.
Okay. Thank you, Rohit. RIPN Shekhar Mehta ji, DG Suresh, and my family of Rotary. It's indeed a pleasure for me today to formally introduce an old school friend, Mr. Shiv Khera. He is an author, educator, business consultant, and a much sought after speaker. He has taken his dynamic personal messages to opposite sides of the globe, from the US to Singapore. His 40 years of research and understanding has put millions on the path of growth and fulfillment. Over 8 million copies of his books have been sold, including his international bestseller, You Can Win, in 21 languages. His clients include big corporates like Lufthansa, Hindustan Petroleum, Nestle, Philips, Johnson & Johnson, and many, many more. 10 of thousands have benefited from his dynamic workshops in over 20 countries, and millions have heard him as a keynote speaker. Mr. Khera is the brand ambassador of Roundtable. He has been honored by the Lions and Rotary International. His trademark is winners don't do different things, they do things differently. He's going to address us on the topic, turn setbacks into comebacks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Shiv Khera.
Thank you. Rajesh, thank you very much. Indeed, I'm grateful for your kind words, and thanks a lot to Mr. Bhasin to host this program. And most of all, I would like to compliment formally Mr. Shekhar Mehta for taking over as the new RI president next year. Am I audible to all of you?
Yeah.
Am I audible to all of you?
Yes.
Okay. And just keep Shekhar right on the screen up there, please. Yeah. You see, most important thing is, Shekhar, the 15 minutes I heard you. In fact, you are the first person who is talking with such grit and commitment for the nation. I mean, I've heard many people, but with this kind of commitment, I have not heard anybody with this kind of a grit behind it. And you're totally right that you got 3,500 people here, Mr. Bhasin here, and I wish the Delhi Chief Minister has 3.5. He doesn't even have 3.5 of it. So forget 3,500 is a big deal. And taking over 10% of the projects of the country, I think that's a tremendous act of patriotism that we are all demonstrating. And I keep in mind, every nation calls upon its citizens to prove their loyalty. I repeat, every nation calls upon their citizens to prove their loyalty sometime or the other at the time of crisis. And few people stand up, and this was brought in beautifully by John Kennedy. He said, when it is I am called upon, I will stand by my nation. And what I heard you was very close to my heart, because at one time I was heading a political party also. I got a lot of support, and I literally put in my time and my effort, my life into the nation side. So with that in mind, I would certainly like to have a one-on-one chat after the program is over, because this is something very crucial. And I offer, you were talking of 2,500 rupees to Suresh Bhasin. I've done a couple of crores of fundraising for the round table because their project was freedom through education. And some I've done for even Rotary. Would absolutely volunteer to raise the kind of money that you're talking about. All I can say is, with God's grace, I am capable of doing it single-handed a lot. So do take me up on it. Do take me up on it. And it's not only I am committed. I have been committed for the last 15 years, and I've gone through a lot of different things. And I've been called by every political party to even join them, because they are aware that 80% of youth is reading my book. But somehow I did not take that offer from them. But anyway, after this program is over, I will like to talk to you about this, especially on the nation building, and we can do it. And let us come back with that. Now, folks,
Sure.
We cannot see each other, but could I request all of you, kindly get your mobiles in your hand, please. Get your mobiles in your hand, please. Everybody kindly get your mobiles get it up in the hand. Everybody get your mobiles up in your hand, please. Everybody. Okay, all of you, kindly get your mobiles up here. Shekhar, please get it up here, sir. Okay, all right, now kindly switch it off, please. Kindly switch it off. Please switch it off, kindly all of. If I keep my mobile on and keep fiddling, for the next hour. Would it be courteous to you people? Answer is no. So I think let's practice courtesy both sides on this. Kindly switch off for the next 65, 40, 70 minutes. All right. All right, folks, with those words, let's get started. Now, why did I take this title as a program turns setbacks into comebacks? Because in my own life, I've had 3 major setbacks in my life, and I got into minus. And what were the things that got me back up in my life? And the learnings I'm going to share with you, that's one part. And I must make a disclaimer that today, I don't think there are many people in this world who have all the answers. Certainly, I don't have all the answers. And my academics are, I'm a BCom 3rd division. I failed in my 10th. That's my academics. And I would request, kindly keep the faces up here, Rahul, on the top. So it's easier to talk to a face than to a blank screen here. Suresh, kindly keep some faces on the panel up here, please. And folks, I come from a business family. We had coal mines in India, close to 1,000 people working, and the government took over, they nationalized the mines. And we came on the street. My father had died when I was in college. We were left with the liabilities and the assets were gone. And I remember a year later, my daughter released from on through those days. I tried my hands on 3 businesses with no money and I failed in all. And finally, I left India in 1975. I went to US, initially went to Toronto. Since I'm not that educated, I was sleeping on the floor and I started life with a bucket in my hand, washing cars door to door for 1.5 to 2 years. And then was selling vacuum cleaners in the evening and daytime washing cars, and totally by accident got into selling life insurance, where I had a hard start and I was on the verge of being fired, but there were some turning points which I'm going to share tonight. Turning points is what I'm going to share, which actually changed my life. Moved on to the US, got into 3 businesses. I bought out a company out of California in 1984, started the New Jersey operation with no clients, and I sold my company with close to 500 clients for a decent sum. Now, those are the things that I'm going to share with you as we go along. Now, coming to the current crisis, what are the challenges that we are facing? I'm not going to delve into it, but the crisis has gone from one city to another. It's covered the whole world. The hospitals are overcrowded, shortage of supplies, and orders are getting canceled. Factories are closing, unemployment shooting up, death rate shooting up. With all this, it has literally shaken up the whole world. Now, this has caused a lot of uncertainty and a lot of unpredictability because nobody has a finish line. Nobody said that's the cutoff line. Nobody knows this. Okay, therefore, it is causing a lot of insecurity and a lot of stress. Now, stress, anxiety, frustration, depression, and some people are angry with the whole thing. All I can say is stress is normal and natural. Stress cannot be avoided nor be denied. And if it does, it is denied, then it comes back stronger and longer. Now, all stress is not bad. In fact, it is stress that makes us perform. An athlete at the Olympics, is he under stress? Answer is yes. If he wasn't, would he be able to perform? Answer is no. Now, all of you, we must have seen the thoroughbreds at the race course. Have you noticed before the thoroughbred gets into the cabin, they're jumping up and down like this. They're jumping. You know why? They are under heavy stress. And the moment they get into the cabin and the bell rings, they shoot off, they perform. That's a thoroughbred. But you take a jackass to the race course. The guy is so cool. He walks so relaxed. He's under no stress. He walks comfortably like a thoroughbred, and he will remain like a jackass. So one sentence I want to make very clearly is, stress is the price we pay to be a thoroughbred in life. I repeat, stress is the price we pay to be a thoroughbred in life. Now, with that in mind, folks, next statement is crucial, which I might repeat later. One, let us not overrate the crisis or the threat that we are facing. And two, let us not underrate our strength to fight and win. I repeat, let us not overrate the crisis, and let us not underrate our strength to fight and win. That is where we are coming from. Okay, now the crisis is impacting us three ways. One, our life. Two, our lifestyle. Now, life, none of us know who will be in quarantine next. Nobody knows. Therefore, that's a situation. None of us know who is going to be in quarantine next, number one. And number two, what we do, where we go, and who we meet could be a matter of life and death. I repeat, what we do, where we go, who we meet could be a life and death matter. Therefore, it is a life impacting issue. One. Number two, our livelihood. Everybody's incomes have stopped. Factories have closed. Even the government's income has stopped. Government is not collecting any taxes either. Therefore, incomes have stopped. But who is in greatest pain? There are three categories of people. One is super rich, two, the mediocre, and the three, the poor. The hardest hit are the poor. They are the daily wage earners. They earn during daytime, eat in the evening, earn during daytime, eat in the evening. They are the hardest hit. One. Now, the super rich don't have a whole lot of problem. Folks, are you aware that Apple computers, they have $200 billion in reserve? $200 billion. I would be totally surprised if they have a livelihood problem. They don't have a cash flow problem. Same thing with possibly the Tatas, the Birlas, the Adanis, the Ambanis. I would be totally surprised if they also have a livelihood problem. Therefore, the super rich don't have that problem. Now, who are the people in between? This is the mediocre, people like me and possibly some others who are listening here. They are the mediocre. Now, mediocre people, something has come to their head. They have, for the first time, started distinguish between active income and passive income. I go to work, I get money. I go to work, I get money. I go to work, I get money. That's called active income. I don't go to work, I get no money. But now people are waking up to say, buddy, if I don't go to work, I must have an income. This is called passive income. Now, when we did financial planning, a firm in US we always used to tell our clients, you must have 1 year of your income in reserve where you should be able to reach it within 24 hours. That is called your emergency fund or opportunity fund, emergency, because accidents and emergencies do not warn you in advance. They just come. You must be able to access that money within less than 24 hours. Okay, so much for that. Now, we're going to talk of the current scenario and the future scenario. See, I was with a banker and he said, we're operating with 30% of our staff now. So I said, well, how do you manage? Are you working at 30% efficiency? He said, no, we are working at 60% efficiency and we are shooting for 80% efficiency. I said, with 30% staff? He said, yes. I said, how are you managing? He said, we are putting everybody on digital platform. There were many people who were doing on manual platform and it was costing us a lot of money and a lot of manpower. So we are putting everybody on digital platforms, especially the senior citizens who are not tech savvy at all like me, and they are putting everybody on digital platform. With the result, he said, we're able to bring 70, 80, and possibly shooting for 90% efficiency with 30% staff. So my next question was, percent excess were redundant before, or they will become redundant after the crisis is over. He said, we haven't reached that, but that could happen. But there is something very nice. He made a point, especially for many entrepreneurs, business people. He said, there are 4 kinds of employees in every organization. One is the superstar. Superstars are proactive people. You don't have to tell them things. They do it voluntarily. They give you input. and they give you bright ideas, and they have integrity, they tell the truth. And if they say the job is done, it is done. You check it, it will be done. They are honest people, and they are asset in your company. They are called superstars. Now, the second category of people they are the doers. You tell them they do it, you tell them they do it, you tell them they do it. You don't tell them they don't do it. But then you got to go check again and again if the job is done. And once in a while, they will slip away by telling lies because they have to be supervised. The third category is the talkers. They talk more, do less. They are not motivated people. They only do what they can get by with. And they only do enough that you have no reason to fire them, but the person is not really motivated. They talk more and do less, and they hide behind the fast talking, and they don't mind telling lies to get away with it. And the fourth category of people working in an organization is the troublemakers. Superstars, the doers, the talkers, and the troublemakers. And he said, we are very seriously now to think to get rid of the talkers and the troublemakers. They have to be getting out of here. Not only because of the crisis, but these are people should have been out even before. Superstars and doers have no problem at all. Okay, with that in mind, I'll cover this in the economic side later, but the third is the lifestyle. Life, livelihood, and the lifestyle. Now, till the lockdown came 2 months ago, all of us, we were all on the fast lane. Everybody was running on the fast lane. We had no time. Look at this. Where we were going, we don't know, but we were going. Everybody was going somewhere. We didn't know where we were going, but we were going. We had no time. Now look at this. The amount of time-saving devices we have today, we have never had that many in history. And yet, we don't have what? We don't have time. You know why? Because somewhere we messed up our priorities. I'm not preaching here. I'm guilty here. I messed up my own priorities. But we messed up our priorities. And when we mess up our priorities, many times we forget to distinguish between what's urgent in life and what's important in life. Now, urgent may or may not be important, and important may or may not be urgent. But the interesting thing is, whenever we ignore what is important, it always converts into urgent. Now, health is important, but it's not urgent. Exercising every day is important, but it's not urgent. But if I have a crucial meeting tonight, if I cannot exercise, it's not the end of the world. But if I ignore my health long enough, guess what happens? I will end up in the hospital. Interesting. Whenever we ignore what is important, it always converts into urgent. In life, relationships are important, but they're not urgent. But if we ignore relationship long enough, guess what happens? We start talking through our lawyers. Now, what this crisis has done is, it has literally, in the last 2 months, brought us back to reevaluate our priorities. You ask people, why do you go to work? I go to work for my family. Who are the most, and why do you work hard? I work hard for my family. Who are the most important people in your life? My family. Who are the most neglected? Also my family. Look at this. What a joke. The most important people become the most neglected people too. And by the way, I'm guilty myself. But interestingly, this crisis has got people to step backwards and say, buddy, check your direction. You are running in speed, but now people have realized that direction is much more important than speed. I repeat, direction is much more important than speed. This is one component of lifestyle. And the second component is where the discretionary and non-discretionary spending has come in. We can cut down many things, but people have come to reality that having money in the bank is more important than having 35 shirts in your closet. Having money in the bank is more important than having a car worth $100,000 or $200,000. People are rethinking to step back on our priorities. Now, with that in mind, there are only, through history in the last 100 years, There are only 2 points of references where, if there's any crisis like that has happened in the past, it has twice in the last 100 years. One was a Spanish flu. Probably you might have heard of it. I don't want to dwell on it. But 50 to 70 million people died and 18 million in India died. This was a scenario. And it came in 2 phases. In 1918, and then things tapered off and people said, man, it is over. It's gone. And the danger is finished. Came back in the second phase and killed more than 35 million people. Now, why am I sharing this? Because the moment the lockdown is over, people get the guard down and they think danger is over. Answer is, it's not over. Look at South Korea. Look at the first phase. Therefore, don't get your guards down. Okay, now, next comparative place is the Great Depression of 1929. Banks failed, Wall Street crashed, there was total panic, people lost their savings, $100 became $15. I repeat, $100 became $15. Dollar lost its value by 85%. 85% was lost. And 15 million people became unemployed. Now, 15 million people then is equivalent to 60 million people today. Why? Population in the US at that time was 120 million. Today it's 330 million. Now, with that scenario, there was total doom and gloom at that point. And right now in the US, about 45 million people are unemployed, only in the US. Globally, the number is absolutely massive. But now, what is a silver lining? The silver lining is, with such massive unemployment, research shows and experience shows, whenever unemployment goes up, self-employment also goes up. I repeat, whenever unemployment has gone up, self-employment has always gone up. So now, during that crisis, when people were in trouble, there was a group of positive thinkers who started their businesses at that time during Great Depression with nothing in their pocket. And today, they are literally household words in the US. And I'm going to share with you only 3 examples with you. 1, they had no money. 2, they had no risk-taking ability. 3, they were not educated people. 4, they were not techies either. But one thing they had was they were positive people. They were positive people. 1. And 2, they were called the positive entrepreneurs or survivalist entrepreneurs, but they were solution-focused people. Have you noticed, folks, there are some people in this world who are problem-focused. You know what that means? You give them a solution, they'll give you a problem. They have a problem for every solution. And Henry Ford said, kick them out, kick them out. They are a liability. We're not stupid. We understand there are problems in life, but we are looking for solution-focused people. Okay, with that in mind, I'll share with you 3 examples. One was a man by the name of George Jenkins. He started in his neighborhood and abandoned durable goods. Now, let me explain what these 2 words are important. Non-perishable durable goods, because if they perish, it's a total loss. So he couldn't afford that. Durable goods, he said, if I'm not able to sell, at least I and my family can use it, because they had no risk-taking ability, had no money at all. This is how he started in 1929. But today, this man has 1,000 stores in the US, 1,000 stores in the US, with a turnover of $30 billion, net worth of $6 billion, and the store is called the Publix Supermarket. This was George Jenkins. Second example was, there were 2 brothers in California California. They were Gallo brothers, and they were struggling on the street. And but nobody would buy it. There was no buyer. They had to sell their wine 50% below market. This is how they started. And today, Gallo wineries account for 25% of wine in the US, and they're worth $10 billion, Gallo wineries. And the third example was a man by the name of Simply. He had a small patch of land in Idaho. He started cultivating potatoes. Now, what he could not sell, he ate. And what he could not eat started rotting. So he could not afford the loss of rotten the potatoes. So he started a freezing system. And today, he accounts for 33% of the French fries business in the US. He's called the Potato King. And his largest customer is the McDonald's, and he's worth over $10 billion. Now, folks, why am I sharing examples like this? It doesn't mean in case you and I started any enterprise, each one of us will become billionaires and we will be doing that kind of turnover. That is not the purpose behind it. The spirit is we must become solution focused. We must become solution focused people. And there is opportunity right now. Okay, now with that in mind, this crisis is impacting us three different ways. One, physically; two, economically; three, psychologically. Physically is the medical side. I'm not qualified to talk about it. I will leave the doctors, and there's enough information from the WHO floating all around, so I'm going to leave that aside. But number two is economically. One major thing happens. Earlier, the word was globalization, globalization, globalization. Now the word is localization, localization. You know, globalization, too much dependence. 25,000 miles away, you are depending on somebody to give you supplies. And USA is dependent on China for 97% of the pharma products. I repeat, USA was dependent on China for 97% of pharma products. All of a sudden they woke up and they said, we do not want to be blackmailed like this. Therefore, we must become self-sufficient. So one major economic change. And number two is get the production close to consumption. Because the production was taken away that far because of labor cost. But now with artificial intelligence and robotics, the labor costs have become very insignificant. I know of a person who had 1,000 people and he started a new factory with 5 times greater capacity with 1/10 of the people. Everything is automated. Therefore, this is going to be a major change. But the most important thing I want to address is the psychological impact. Psychological is the emotional impact. Folks are emotionally strong. They're becoming stronger out of this crisis. I repeat, people who are emotionally strong, they're coming out stronger. And people who are emotionally weak, they are being shattered. And the report says that domestic violence has gone up by 50%. 50%. People are irritating each other. Well, earlier people said, if you ask anybody that supposing you had an additional 22 hours every day, instead of 24 hours per day, Suresh, if you had 26 hours per day, what would you do with those 2 extra hours? You know, everybody said, same answer. I would spend more time with your family. See, if you had 2 extra hours per day, what would you do? Everybody said, I would spend time with my family. Well, you got the time now, do it. This is the time to build that bond, which is crucial. Okay, now that far, let me share with you the lessons I have learned through my life in coping with the crisis. I'm going to share with you. There are 9 steps, 9 steps. And if you want to take them down, please do so. And folks, the 9 steps are: number 1, serenity prayer. When I went to US 45 years ago, I attended a program by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, the man who wrote the book, Power of Positive Thinking. And I was sitting in the group, there were 1,000 people. As he came in, he looked at the entire audience and he said, are you there? Okay.
Yes, sir. Can you start back from your 9 steps? We lost the audio a little while ago.
Okay. Rohit, 9 steps. The first one was the serenity prayer. When I went to US, I attended a program by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, the man who wrote the book, Power of Positive Thinking. There were 1,000 people. And as he came in, he said, it seems all of you people are so relaxed, comfortable. It appears nobody has a problem here. So yes, does anybody have a problem? So everybody raised their hand. Of course, we have a problem. Then he asked, how many people would like to get rid of the problem? Again, everybody, we're here to address you people. I came across a place where I saw some people all stretched out, totally relaxed. They had no problem. How many people would like to know where that place is? Again, everybody raised their hand. And Dr. Peale said, 2 blocks away from here, there is a cemetery. There are people lying there, all stretched out, totally relaxed. They have no problem. And then he asked, how many people would like to get rid of the problem? Nobody raised their hand. Everybody put their hand in their pocket. Then Dr. Peale said something which is very profound. He said, problem is a sign of life. So long as we are alive, we shall have problems. The day we don't have problems, we'd be dead. And when you're running short of problems, that is the time to get on your knees and pray to God, have you stopped trusting me anymore? Send me some problems. But folks, that day, he gave a prayer, which is called the serenity prayer, which I will repeat twice in case people want to take this down. And that prayer I have used every day of my life in the last 45 years. I don't leave my home without it. And I've gone through many difficult situations and crises. This prayer has helped me tremendously. It goes like this, called the Serenity Prayer. It says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change and courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference, what I can and what I cannot. I repeat, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference, what I can and what I cannot. Folks, to me, this is the crux of life. If you analyze and dissect this prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Now, folks, question is everything in life within our control? Answer is no. There are some things beyond. See, folks, I didn't choose my parents, neither did you. I didn't decide where I was going to be born, neither did you. Granted, sometimes people are born deformed. What wrong did they do? Who knows? And granted, sometimes bad things do happen to good people for no fault of their own. What wrong did they do? Who knows? Folks, it says very clearly, if I cannot change, then let me accept it graciously, not grudgingly. Folks, many times in life, we keep fighting the things we just cannot change. And we bring stress into our lives, and we become paralyzed, and we become unproductive. Now, how did this virus come? I don't know, but it's here. So what I cannot change, let me accept it graciously, not grudgingly. And two, if I can change, then give me the guts and courage to do it. And wisdom to know what I can and what I cannot. Now, folks, when I wrote my new book, which was launched last year in London, You Can Achieve More, I took this thought 2 steps further. And I wrote in there that life is full of choices and life is full of compromises. Seems like a contradiction, but not really. See, folks, if I ill-treat you, I have chosen to be ill-treated, haven't I? If I treat you with discourtesy, I have chosen to be treated with discourtesy, haven't I? If I light up a cigarette, I've chosen to invite cancer, haven't I? If I drink and drive, I've chosen to invite an accident, haven't I? If I exercise every day, I've chosen to invite good health, haven't I? If I eat too much, I've chosen to be obese, haven't I? See, folks, life is full of choices. Now, very important. We are all free to the point of choice. But after we make our choices, the choice controls the chooser. We have no more choice. I repeat, we are all free to the point of choice only. But after we make our choices, the choice controls the chooser. We have no more choice. Now, how is life full of compromises? As somebody said beautifully, we cannot choose the cards that are dealt to us. What we can choose is how we play the game. In life, sometimes nature gives us a lemon. The choice is ours. Do we cry or do we make lemonade?
Friends, just bear with us. I think there is some network issue with Shiv Khera ji's audio. Kindly just be a little patient on this. Thanks. I think we've lost his audio completely. There is a slight issue with Shiv Khera's network bandwidth. We're just trying to get him back online. Just bear with us for a couple of more minutes, please. Request Governor Sriji to unmute himself and kindly update us.
Rohit, what I suggest is you can speak to him, tell him that he can use a hotspot from his phone. If there is someone there in his home or office, somebody will help him to set up the hotspot.
Sure, let us try this.
I have already given message to our secretary.
Okay.
Thanks, Shekharji.
Till the time Shivji joined, I request Shekhar Mehta ji to please apprise us about the other developments which we are having all over India. Shekhar ji, please.
Not developments, but there is something that I want every Rotarian to do. That's, let me use this time. When I get into service activities, I forget others. Although this happens to be the top priority for the next 2 years for all of India and for the world actually, is membership development. Now, a simple question, let me ask at your districts. 800 लोग अभी भी हैं यहाँ पर, मैं देख रहा हूँ. बहुत simple सा सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ, उसका जवाब दीजिएगा. In the next 2 years, how many? And Chehab is here. I want Chehab to see this. It's very important. And I saw Safak somewhere. Safak is here. Let him also see it. How many of you agree? Okay, let me put it this way. I told you India is doing some outstanding work as far as work is concerned. Membership growth is outstanding. Today, we are the #2 country as far as membership in the world is concerned. We are at 160,000 for a country whose population is 135 crores. Huge potential we have for increasing our membership. I have a slogan for all the Rotarians across the world in the next 2 years. Each one bring one. What's so great about this slogan? Nothing very new, but I'll tell you how it will work. Let me ask each and every one of you, in the next 2 years, how many of you agree that you will just get one member in Rotary? One member in Rotary. Will you please raise your hands? All those who feel who will bring just one member. And keep the hand raised. I want to, and please, Gaurav Sood, ya to sun nahi rahe ho ya dekh nahi rahe ho. You heard my question. I want to know who in the next 2 years will bring one member to Rotary. Okay, I'm moving to different screens. I want to see what percentage of people. I see nearly 90% of the people have raised their hands. Chehab, take this message back to the US. I have asked there also, and I've got a similar response in zone 34 and 35. Everybody here has raised a finger. Raised a hand. What does this mean? That if we were to go and ask this question to every Rotarian around the world, I tell you, it will be possible for us to move from 1.2 to at least 1.3 million. For 25 years, we have been stuck at 1.2 million. 1.2 million together, we cannot add 10% members in 1 year, in 2 years. We can. We have not followed it up. So if Rajiv Mehra, you take down, this is getting recorded, you will get a list of all the people who have attended the meeting. These 800 people have committed to the president nominee that they will get one member in the next 2 years. Just follow it up very politely. Don't rush them. Don't push them. If they don't get, no problem. But I tell you, if you follow up, all 805 will get you at least 1,000 members. Because people like Vinod Bansal will get you 5. All the past governors have a special responsibility. Rajesh Batra will get 5. Deepak Kapoor, agar uska koi, here Subhash Sahu already says, I will get 5. There will be so many. Here Kalpana Khaun says, I will get 10. Suresh Bhasin says he'll get 5. So these people, so when I say they'll get 1,000, it's possible. I want each and every one from India and South Asia. I mean, Nepal is doing outstanding work in membership growth. Bangladesh is doing outstanding work in membership growth. And I tell you, even America and the rest of the world will do a great job. All we need to do is follow up. People make commitments. I'll give you an example. If I said today, I will give $50,000 to the Rotary Foundation, my club president will, oh, Shiv is here. Sorry, Shiv, I was only filling up for you. We want to hear you. I can tell this anytime. I'm so happy you are back. Please go ahead, Shiv.
But it's good to know that, and I'll also get involved in your membership part.
Good.
Where did we stop? Can you just help me out with that? How far did we go? Can you just help me? How far did we go?
9 points, I think. That's where you were.
No. I came to the serenity prayer.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me
You
share.
were at the serenity. Yes, you were at the serenity.
So I mentioned that life is full of choices and life is full of compromises. Now, what is success? Series of positive choices in life is called success, and series of negative choices in life is called failure, and that's it. Now, once in a while, I'm asked that people who are successful, don't they make mistakes? And people who are failures, don't they do positive things in life? And my answer is, people who are successful, they do make mistakes, but making a mistake once in a while does not make anybody a failure. Repeating the same mistake again and again is what brings failure. And doing something positive once in a while does not bring success either. Repeating the same positive behavior again and again is what brings success. So we need to understand what brings success and failure. That's one part. Now, number 2, step 2. Folks, to overcome the crisis, overcome stress, limit your exposure to news only to twice a day, 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening. That's about it, no more. Why? Because news is so negative. It is so depressing that it pulls people down. Have you noticed there are some people who wake up in the morning and all they do is turn the TV on and they're looking for scores. How many infected, how many died, how many infected, how many died, how many infected, as if there's a cricket match going on between England and Australia. And then for an hour and a half, they watch TV. Then they move on to the next channel to find the news. How many infected, how many died, how many infected. Then they move to the third channel and the fourth. All through the day for 12 hours, they are watching nothing else but so many infected, so many died. In the evening, the man is depressed. Of course, you're going to feel depressed. All you've been watching is negativity since morning. And no wonder your immunity goes down, because when you are in depression, your immunity goes down. Chances of catching the viral are much higher. Folks, limit your exposure to news only twice a day, 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening. And also, get your information from reliable sources. There is so much of fake news going on all around today. Get your information from reliable sources. That's crucial. Okay, next step, step 3. Step 3 is, folks, convert your wasted time to productive time. I repeat, convert your wasted time to productive time. What does that mean? Folks, in the US, before the crisis, there was a survey conducted which said an average American watches 3 to 4 hours of TV per day. 3 to 4 hours TV per day before the crisis. Now, after the crisis, there are people watching 8 to 10 hours of TV per day. But This is what it is. Now, a man bought a new TV. A friend of his came visiting, saw the new TV. It was very impressive. So he asked his buddy, how much did the TV cost? He said, $1,000. He said, are you sure? He said, yes. He said, how much do you make a year? He said, I make annual income of $100,000. He said, have you calculated what your hourly rate is? Hourly rate per hour? He said, if I work 2,000 hours a year, my hourly rate comes to $50 an hour. He said, you watch 3 hours of TV per day. At $50 per hour, it's $150 per day. Multiply 365. Do you know what it costs? It costs you close to $55,000 per year. This TV didn't cost you $1,000. This TV is costing you $55,000 per year. That is more than your EMI on a $500,000 home. Folks, convert your wasted time to productive time. Now, don't get me wrong. Watching TV is entertaining. It's relaxing. You watch a good movie, you watch a good play once in a while. But every day watching 3, 4, 5 hours a day, what are you doing? Now, in my new book, I have mentioned a survey conducted in the US, which said 85% of millionaires and billionaires today are first generation. I repeat, 85% of millionaires and billionaires today in the world are first generation, only 15% coming from inheritance. And they were asked in this survey, how could you become so much successful financially in such a short period of time? And their answer was, we read books. How many books? They said, we read about 50 books a year. 50 books means 1 book a week. 1 book a week, folks. And what kind of books do you read? And their answer was, we read only self-help books. We don't read fiction. Why? Because fiction is fiction, will remain fiction. I can't relate to fiction. And he said, answer was, from a self-help book, 1 good idea is worth $1 million. 1 good idea is worth $1 million. Folks, Warren Buffett reads books. Bill Gates reads books. And these millionaires and billionaires who are running big businesses, they read 1 book a week. What does that tell us? There is a connection between learning and earning, and learning and earning, and learning and earning. You learn and you earn. There's a big connection between learning and earning. Now, you will find always a serious reader will never lend a book or borrow a book. Shekhar, a serious reader will never lend a book or borrow a book. Many times I get people and they tell me, Mr. Khera, I got a great book. I can lend it to you. I said, don't do that. Give it to me, gift it to me, sell it to me. Don't lend it to me because I will not give it back to you. You know why? Because when I read a book, I underline, highlight, make notes. You know why? Because I learned one thing. Reading a good book once is never good enough. And you know why? Because when you read a good book the second time, you don't find anything new in the book. You find something new in yourself. I repeat, you don't find anything new in the book. You find something new in yourself. So it is so crucial. This is convert your learning time into earning time. Now, I also used to read about 30, 40 books a year at one time, but in between for several years, I dropped this habit. And I'm guilty myself after the lockdown took place, the first 1 or 2 days, I also watched TV 8, 10 hours. Don't get me wrong. And I'm guilty of it. But I was cleaning up my library and I found in my library, I have 250,000 books in my library, which is more than many libraries have them too. And I saw many books were half read. I pulled out all the books and one night I was reading till 6 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't get up till 2 o'clock, but I don't care. But at least my time was not wasted with watching TV. Remember, folks, there is a big connection between learning and earning and learning and earning and learning and earning. Therefore, Convert your wasted time into productive time. Folks, out of this lockdown period, if we have not upskilled ourselves, or if we have not become more knowledgeable, or if we have not become healthier or fitter, it is not because we lack time, but because we lack the self-commitment and the self-discipline. I repeat, if during this crisis we have not upskilled ourselves or become more knowledgeable or become fitter or healthier, it is not because we lack time, but because we lack the self-discipline and commitment. Now I'll share with you, of course I wasted a little time in between, but I am not proud of it, but till about 8 weeks ago, I was learning SMS from my grandchildren. Folks, 8 weeks ago, I had never done a webinar in my life. I had never done an email. I had never done an email in my life. Only 8 weeks ago. And folks, since 8 weeks, I've started learning the computer. And I have been booked for one webinar after the other, and going forward for another month, I am booked, and there are days I'm doing 2 of them. And tonight I'm doing 2 of them, one here and one from the US, from the American Association of Physicians. And they're paying me for it. But it is a matter of upskilling, becoming more knowledgeable and fitter. In the last 6-8 weeks, I've lost 6 kilos of weight. Folks, I repeat, if during this crisis, if we have not upskilled ourselves or become more knowledgeable or become fitter or healthier, it is not because we lack time, but because we lack the commitment and the self-discipline. That's 3. Step 4. Step 4 is, folks, how do we overcome depression? Because many people are facing depression right now. I get calls and people think I have answers. I really don't. But I got a call the other day. Somebody said, Mr. Khera, I'm feeling very bored and I'm feeling depressed. Now, I didn't say this to them, but here is what my thought came in. I'm feeling bored, I'm feeling depressed. I learned one thing in my life. Only boring people in life are bored. I repeat, only boring people in life are bored. This is the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is the pain of being alone, and solitude is the pleasure of being alone. Now, the answer was, I feel depressed. How do you overcome depression? Folks, what I'm going to be sharing with you is not my prescription, but a prescription from a world famous psychiatrist by the name of Dr. Carl Menninger. Even today in the US, Menninger Clinic is considered to be the last word in psychiatry. And somebody asked Dr. Carl Menninger, Doc, if you knew for sure that one of your patients was coming up with an attack of depression, what treatment would you prescribe? And the Dr. Menninger said, if I knew for sure that somebody was coming up with an attack of depression, I will tell them, go back home, lock yourself out, go to the other side of town, look for somebody who is in trouble, help them, and your depression will go away. Folks, hear this. He said, go to the other side of town, look for somebody who is in trouble, help them, and your depression will go away. You know something? I do work with the roundtablers and the Rotarians and many others. I find that they're so busy organizing a blood donation camp, eye camp, polio eradication, and many things that you heard right now from Shekhar. You see, they're so busy doing something, helping the underprivileged, they have no time to get depressed. Are you with me? They have no time to get depressed. Depression is the disease of the rich. Shekhar, depression is a disease of the rich. Poor people are so busy earning a living, they have no time to get depressed. What a message. This message is coming from a world famous psychiatrist, Dr. Carl Menninger. This is not mine. Folks, this is what we need to understand and learn and do as we go along. And step five, folks, build positive relationships in life. And one sentence which is so crucial. Remember one thing in life, folks, people who have good relationships, what they can achieve with one phone call, you cannot achieve with $1 million. Are you with me? I repeat, English language. People who have good relationship, what they can achieve with one phone call, you cannot achieve with $1 million. Folks, this is what crucial is. Build personal and professional relationships. Personal relationships. You notice one thing. I repeat. See, you ask people, if you had 2 extra hours per day, what would you do? Everybody says, I'll spend time with my family. Well, you got it. Go spend it. And interestingly, people who are emotionally strong, they are becoming stronger. And their bondings are becoming stronger. Who are the most important people in our lives? Our families and friends. God forbid, if any one of us was in the hospital, tell me, who would be there next to us? Probably only 2, 3, 4 people, our family, nobody else. And they are the most neglected, and many times we take them for granted. This is the time to build those strong bonds. And people who don't have the strong bonds, this is the time to build, because if you don't build it, you will break. You will break. And only relatives and friends, they are your support system. I repeat, they are your support system. That's it. Now, I share with you something. I've heard this. There are people who say, I've joined organizations, I've joined associations, I've joined Chamber of Commerce, I've joined BNI groups, I've joined Rotary. I network with people. I network with people. You know what? These are people who are looking to only build contacts. Why do they want to build contacts? They're looking for who could be useful to me. Who could be useful? You know something, usefulness finishes, relationship finishes. What a joke. There are people who are building relationship only to find this person could be useful. Usefulness goes, relationship, friendship goes too. They are parasites. They are rascals. They're only takers. They are only takers. Folks, relationships are never in life built by only taking. They are parasites. Stay away from them. Stay away from them. Folks, in Singapore, I was doing a program. I had a dinner meet, came back. I met a gentleman in the lobby. He saw my suit and he asked me, Mr. Khera went for dinner? I said, yes. I said, it was a get together. His one thing was, did you meet somebody who could be useful to you? I don't know. I felt so terrible. I just felt like giving a piece of my mind to this guy. But anyway, all I could think of with this guy is he could only see who could be useful to you. I said, remember one thing in life, meeting a good human being is good enough. Are you with me? Meeting a good human being is good enough. Networking does not mean what you can snatch and get out of people. Networking only means what you can give to human beings out there. Now, I got a call the other day from a gentleman. I had not heard 10 years from him. All of a sudden he calls me and he says, Mr. Khera, I was going through my directory. We had connected 10 years ago and somehow we disconnected. I'm just calling to reconnect. I apologize that we had a gap of 10 years in between, but I think we had respect for one another. I'm just calling to reconnect. You know something? After he hung up, I felt so guilty. He beat me to a phone call. He beat me to a phone call. And right away after I hung up, I picked up my own telephone directory and I started thinking there are people I had connected 5, 6, 7 years ago, and I had a lot of respect for them, and I still do. But I had lost connection. I picked up the phone and started calling. There's no business, there's no connection, there's no give take, nothing at all. But bottom line is that you connect. Remember one thing in life, folks, there are 3 kinds of relationships in life at friendships. One is friendship of convenience. Convenience goes, friendship also goes. Second friendship is called friendship of usefulness. Usefulness goes, friendship also goes. The third friendship is called built on when you have a common enemy. Hey, common enemy goes, friendship also goes. And the fourth kind of friendship is built on mutual respect. Mutual respect. The word is mutual respect, not tolerance, not tolerance. It is on mutual respect. See, keep in mind, people say tolerance is a great word. In my vocabulary, it is not a good word. See, I and my wife live together not because we can tolerate each other. We live together because we respect each other. The word tolerance only means we are postponing the blast. An employer and employee work together not because they can tolerate each other. Tolerate means it is time before they call it off, before they postpone the blast. Now keep one thing in mind. Folks, helping each other is a duty of a friend. If I have a friend who has been friend for me for 20 years, and tonight, if he has a problem, it is my duty to help. And if I don't help, I'm not behaving like a friend. And if I do help, I'm not doing any obligation. But remember, unless he is selling drugs out there, that's different. I don't want to help such people like this. But my point I'm trying to make is helping each other is never the purpose of friendship. It is a duty. But remember, it is always incidental to friendship. I repeat, it is always incidental to friendship. And that is what we are talking about. Build positive relationships at this time. Step 6. Step 6 is become a proactive person. Become a proactive person. What does that mean? When we do our 3-4 day leadership programs, totally by surprise, we ask people, are you a good man? Sometimes they get confused. But once in a while they say, yes, I'm good. And you ask a follow-up question, what makes you good? Well, the answers are like this. Well, I don't do bad, so I'm good. I don't cheat, so I'm good. I don't tell lies, so I'm good. I don't steal, so I'm good. And my answer is, this is incorrect answer. See, folks, if I don't do bad, does not make a person good. If I don't steal, it only means I'm not a thief, but that does not make a person good. If I don't cheat, it only means I'm not a cheat, but that does not make me good. And if I don't steal, it only means I'm not a thief, but that does not make a person good. Go ask a medical doctor. Absence of ill health does not mean good health. I repeat, go ask a medical doctor. Absence of ill health does not mean good health. Similarly, absence of bad does not make a person good. A person becomes good when they do good consciously. That is called proactive. Proactive. Now, why do I share this with you? Very important reason. That is that pretty much most Rotarians are leaders. All of them are leaders. We lead our family, we lead our club, we lead somewhere. And I learned one thing in my life. A good leader stands for something, then they stand against something. A good leader is never neutral. I repeat, if you stand for something, automatically you stand against something. If you stand for good, by default, you stand against evil. If you stand for integrity, by default, you stand against dishonesty and cheating. A good leader is never neutral. That's a politician. A neutral person is the politician. Now, why do I share this with you? Folks, I have no compassion for the enemies of humanity. I repeat, I have no compassion for the enemies of humanity. Now, who are the enemies of humanity? I've seen videos from New York. I've seen videos from Europe. I've seen videos within India. And I've noticed there are people who are actually hurting, beating, and spitting at the healthcare professionals, doctors, nurses. They are spitting and beating up the security forces. I've seen people spitting in New York. And not only that, they're enemies of humanity, knowing fully well that they are infected, they're spitting at the doctors so that they catch it too. There are people who are lacing and spitting on vegetables, lacing, spitting on fruits, lacing and spitting on pizza deliveries, knowing fully well that it can cause damage. They are doing it on purpose. They are neither innocent nor ignorant. In my opinion, they are enemies of humanity. I have no compassion for them whatsoever. Now, why do I share this with you? I was doing a program about a few years ago, about 5,000-6,000 people. And a man from the audience came up and he asked me, Mr. Khera, are you a Gandhian? Are you a Gandhian? I learned one thing, and that is, before you answer a question, clarify what does the question mean. Sometimes they're loaded questions. And two, many times the best answer to a question is a question also. So I asked the man, can you define what's a Gandhian? Can you tell me what are the criteria of being a Gandhian? He said, there are 3 criteria of being a Gandhian. One is, Gandhi believed that with love, you can win everybody in this world. I repeat, he said, Gandhi believed that with love, you can win everybody in this world. That is first criteria of Gandhian. 2, Gandhi believed in tolerance. And 3, Gandhi believed in non-violence. 3 things. And then he asked me, Mr. Khera, are you a Gandhian? Well, I don't know what came to my mind at that point. I asked him, I said, look, in our culture, we consider the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayans as the epics and the sacred thing that we have. So I asked him, I said, tell me, was Rama Gandhian? Your 3 criteria of being a Gandhian, was Rama Gandhian? 1, you said Gandhi believed that with love you can win everybody in this world. Was Ram able to win with love? Answer is what? Answer is no, he was not. 2, second thing you said, tolerance. Did Ram sound very tolerant? You kidnap my wife away, I'll get a second one. You'll kidnap a second one, I'll get a third one. You'll kidnap a third one, I'll get a fourth one. He said, I will not tolerate kidnappers. So Ram was not a tolerant person. And third, you said non-violence. I said, tell me, what did Ram do? What did Ram do? Even for self-defense, he had to pull out the weapon and destroy evil. Yes, no. He did have to destroy the evil. So I said, Ram failed all 3 tests, even for self-defense. He failed all tests. That means Ram was not a Gandhian. Now, let us look at the life histories of the 10 Sikh Gurus. The 10th Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, was he able to win with love during the Mughals when they were forcibly converting people? Answer is no. 2, was he able to tolerate the terrorism and oppression? Answer is no. 3, did he pull out the sword and fight? Answer is yes. So he was not a Gandhian either. I said, keep one thing in mind. Anybody who does not stand up to protect the respect and dignity of their family and the good in this world, they are cowards in life. They are cowards. And I said, sir, I am not a Gandhian. Remember this, I am not a Gandhian. Very clear. I make this point very strongly for one simple reason. A good leader stands for something, he always stands against something. They are never neutral. They are never neutral. Ram stood for good. He stood against evil. Okay. I have no compassion for enemies of humanity. Number 7. Number 7. How to overcome the crisis is become emotionally strong. People who are emotionally strong, they're able to overcome crisis and they become stronger. And in order to do that, you need to build high self-esteem. Now, what is self-esteem? Now, when we do our 3-4 day leadership program, we spend 5 hours on self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Self-esteem is the way we feel about ourselves. You notice when we feel good, the world looks nice, productivity goes up, and relationships are a lot better, aren't they? And the reverse is just as true. And self-esteem is inversely related to egos. Have you seen people with egos like I know it all? What do? They talk down to people, don't they? They put down others, don't they? And every decision they make is more to satisfy ego than makes sense. Now think about it, folks. Why does a human being put down another human being? It is sadistic but true. There are some people in this world who feel good when the other person feels bad, which means they don't want to lift themselves up, but they want to pull others down. I repeat, they don't want to lift themselves up, but they want to pull others down. Now, why do I share this with you? Folks, high self-esteem is driven by self-acceptance, and low self-esteem is driven by self-doubt and inadequacy. Now, what does self-acceptance mean? Self-acceptance says, I accept myself the way I am. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I accept myself with my pluses and minuses. Now, that doesn't mean complacence. That does not mean arrogance. That does not mean take it or leave it. That doesn't mean that's the way I'm going to be. If understood properly, folks, high self-esteem is the epitome of humility. It says, how I came to this world, I don't know. But I'm here. And I accept myself with my pluses and minuses. Now, I do make mistakes. I made mistakes. I apologize for my mistakes. I seek forgiveness for my mistakes. I'm not proud of my mistakes. I learned from my mistakes. I will not repeat my mistakes, but I am not a mistake. See, Suresh, I am not a mistake. Are you with me? Suresh, are you with me? Okay. I am not a mistake. I am at peace with myself. I accept myself the way I am. Again, it does not mean arrogance. Now, a prime example of this one was Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin was once going through Europe and he saw a big hoarding which said Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest. Out of sheer inquisitiveness, he entered the contest to find out, have fun. And guess what? He lost. Look at this. Charlie Chaplin lost the Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest. And when he was there, he came number 7. He started thinking the real one loses, the fake one wins. But then he started thinking, I'm the only one who knows who the real Charlie Chaplin is here. Why don't I tell them? Should I tell them I'm the real one? But then he said, why should I tell them? I'm the only one who is the real one. I know my identity. Do I have to prove anything to anybody? Answer is no. He walked away. He walked away. He said, I have to prove you nothing in my life. I accept myself the way I am. This is what we call high self-esteem, emotional strength. Folks, these are people who can overcome crisis much easier and faster and better. Okay, number 8. Folks, very important thing is, in life, remember, faith gives strength, but blind faith leading to superstition weakens people. I repeat, faith is good, but blind faith leading to superstition weakens people. Now, what does that mean? Folks, one of the biggest damage done to India by Indian media is anytime you pick up the newspaper or pick up the television channel, open up, what do you see? Horoscope. All you see is horoscope. And there are people who are sitting there with the saffrons or the white and a few tilaks here and a tilaks there. And where are you calling from? What is your name? What time is your birth? And so, Guruji, I don't know. Okay, don't worry. Tuk, 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 tuk. I will take it out. And then he does Pitri dosh, Patni dosh, Putri dosh, Phalana dosh, Mangli, Shani chad gaya, and so on and so forth. And then he works out to get rid of the Shani part here. And Shani ji, Guruji, utar dijiye, Shani utar dijiye. Yada bole Shani utar dete hain, kaha kijiye, काला रुमाल लीजिए, उसमें काली दाल डालिए, काला काजल लगाइए, काली बाल वाला खोजिए, काला कुत्ता खोजो, काला बर्तन खोजो. Interestingly, my point is, if it is so easy to get Shani in, Shani out, Shani in, Shani out, Shani in, then why don't we do one thing? Why don't you shoot off Shani to Pakistan, get rid of all the terrorists out there? Be done with it. Now, I want to make one point here, very important. If you read the life history of Swami Vivekananda, and I've checked down on it, you can Google it too. If you read the life history of Swami Vivekananda, Swami Dayanand, Guru Nanak, they never ever believed in all these things. They never did. Go check out in Sikh families. There is no Manglik. They don't tally the horoscopes. They don't find good omens. Every wedding in a Sikh family is done on a Sunday. Sunday doesn't sit right, they do it on a Saturday. Saturday doesn't sit right, they do it on a Friday. My point I'm trying to make is, go check out, find out what is going on out there. And if I strongly recommend, pick up the India Today, you can Google it, get the article from there. About a year ago, there was an article that came out in India Today, which said, because of superstition and blind faith, superstition, childbirth in India, natural childbirth has gone down drastically, and a majority of childbirth in India is done through C-section operations. And they quoted more so South India and 3 cities, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Madras. They said, hear this, 80% of childbirth is done through Operation C-section. 80%. Why is that? Because some astrologers said, this is the time to get the child out. Good omen. What a joke. Folks, I had somebody ask me at one of the webinars the other day that if somebody is standing in queue for 12 hours to visit a temple, is it faith or blind faith? Folks, let me ask you one question. We all have seen there are thousands and thousands of people who gather together, and there is a Babaji sitting there, and he asks, "Kal jalebi khai thi? Nahi khai thi?" Yahi problem. Have you not heard that? And there are people who are selling preet, they are selling honey. There are Babas who are selling honey preet together. They should be in jail, and you catch people's feet. What's going on? Folks, I share with you one thing, and what answer I gave there. And they said, if somebody's standing 12 hours to go into a temple, is it faith or blind faith? And my answer is, I believe in God. I believe in God. I pray every day. But I have not visited a temple in 40 years. I've not. And besides, in my opinion, 90% of temple goers today, they go there not because of faith, they go out of fear. You don't do this, this will happen. You don't do this, this will happen. You don't do this, this will happen. They go more out of fear than out of faith. We need to understand faith gives you strength. Blind faith, superstition weakens people. Why I'm sharing this is because we all go through ups and downs in life. Everybody does. But there are people who do not accept responsibility, who don't analyze the situation, and they don't take any learning from a setback. Then they are likely to repeat the same setback again. You know what? They don't accept responsibility. They blame the stars. Therefore, they have not learned anything from a setback, and they keep repeating the same mistake again and again and again. Therefore, my message is very clear. Faith will strengthen people, and blind faith will weaken people, which is superstition. Lastly, last item, number 9. Folks, this is time to give back. We are privileged people. We have a home, we have some bank balance and so on. God has been kind, but there are many, many, many underprivileged people, and who better know than the Rotarians? Folks, I've seen videos from all over the world. There are many people who have come forward. They're giving money, they're giving time, they're giving food, and so many things are happening. But folks, there is one community as a community, one community as a community who has been honored by the government of United States, by the government of Canada, the government of Australia, government of New Zealand, government of UK. Community for humanitarian service, and that community is the Sikh community. Sikh community. Folks, even before the crisis, the concept of langar was they were feeding hundreds of thousands of people per day before the crisis to the underprivileged. After the crisis, they're feeding millions of people per day. Millions. You know why? Because they're teaching from the Guru Granth Sahib says, they're caring people. As a community, they're caring people. 1, no wonder they've been honored all over the world by every government. They're caring people. 2, they're sharing people. And 3, they're daring people. They're daring. They have the courage and guts to fight against oppression also. I wish in India, if we had adopted the philosophy of the Guru Granth Sahib instead of the Indian Constitution, India probably would have been totally a different country in this world today. This is time to give back. And we have a local Gurdwara here, and they feed about 5,000-6,000 people every day. And whatever contribution we can make, I do it on a daily basis here. But now coming to the give back part. There was a man by the name of Lafayette in France, very wealthy man, had a lot of warehouses full of grains, and a major drought came in. At that time, his warehouses were full of grains, and his advisor said to him, Mr. Lafayette, this is time to multiply money, 10x, 100x. And these people are starving. They will pay you anything right now for food. And what Lafayette said was, he said, this is not time to do that. They were good times. They were laughing, we were laughing. They were making money, we were making money. These are not good times. These are times to open up the warehouses and just share and give. You know something? It is people like them who make the world livable. Now, why do I share this with you? For a very important reason. I was addressing a group of people, very high net worth. Now there is high net worth, very high net worth. Very high net worth, in my opinion, are people above $250 million. There are hundreds of millions and billions. So as I finished the program, one person came up and he asked me, Mr. Khera, tell me, why does a billionaire who's got billions, keep working to make more billion, more billion, more billion. He's already got billions, but he wants to make more and more. Why does he do it? So I said, there are two kinds of people in this world. One billionaire is suffering from inferiority complex. Now, just because he's got billions doesn't mean he's got rid of inferiority. He's suffering inferiority complex. He keeps making more and more and more to keep a score. To keep a score. He keeps up with the Joneses. How come they have this, I don't have it? How come they have this, I don't have it? How come they have this, I don't have it? And then he makes comparisons. He's got 50 million, I must make 100 million. He's got 100, I must make 200 million. He's got 200, I must make 300. And he's got 300, I must make 400. You know why? They feel if I have less than him, I'm inferior. You know what that means? They check their self-worth by their net worth. I repeat, they are assessing their self-worth by their net worth. They don't understand people make things, things don't make people. And if I have less than this guy, I am inferior. And they are the people who will keep collecting money, money, money all the time. And they will sit on their treasure like a snake and will do nothing for society. They're rascals. That's it. That's about it. Now, that is one breed of billionaire. But there's a second breed whose billionaire wants to make more. You know why? They feel the more I have, the more I can give. The more I have, the more I can give. The more I have, the more I can give. The more I have, the more I can give. Interestingly, Warren Buffett, I think, had $40 billion, gave $39 billion to charity. Bill Gates got $33 billion. He gave $32 billion to charity to underprivileged. Azim Premji 6 months ago gave $7 billion to charity. Tata's pretty much giving every day into charity to the underprivileged. Folks, why I bring this up is also another important reason. I've heard many times people come up and they say, Mr. Khera, money is not important in life. I have written in my book, those who say money is not important, they're either stupid or they're billionaires. Now, I didn't say money is most important, but money is important. Why? Because money in good hands always does good. And money in evil hands always does evil. I repeat, money in good hands always does good, and money in evil hands will always do evil. And therefore, I want to make very important point is, I feel it is the moral obligation of every good human being to become a multimillionaire and a billionaire. I repeat, it is a moral obligation of every good human being to become a multimillionaire and a billionaire. Because money in good hands always does good, and money in evil hands always does evil. Folks, with those words, I'm going to stop, and I'd like to close with two things, and that is, folks, what you people have given me, I'm grateful to all of you, is priceless. I don't know if I have given you back in return as much. What you've given me is priceless. And what is that? You have given me your time. And I learned one thing in my life: time is much more precious than money. Yes, no. Time is much more precious than money. Yes, no. Answer is Vinod, yes. And why did you give me your time? Because you trusted me that I would not waste your time. And folks, I learned one thing in my life: in trust, in many ways, is a much greater compliment in life than love. There are people we love, but we cannot trust. So I am grateful to all of you. I wish each one of you good health and your families. And I would again bring back to Suresh. Thanks a lot to you. And I don't know if Shekhar is still here or gone, but I would request you do take me up on your fundraising and other activities. And I will certainly talk to Shekhar a little later. With those words, I would just hand over the floor back to you, Suresh. God bless to all of you. Thank you, sir. And Rahul, thanks a lot. Thank you, Shekhar. You're right here.
Shivji, my very long proposal is pending with you. And I think today is the right time. We should do it. My proposal is, when I asked you to join Rotary, you said in 45 years career, I am the second person to make you a Rotarian.
I'll ask Shekhar.
So today Shekhar is here.
Guide me there.
So today Shekhar is here. I request Shekharji to virtually induct you as a Rotarian of my club, Rotary Club of Delhi.
But let me answer you, since you brought it in public, let me answer in public. Look, if you just want me as a member, I think you're wasting my time and your time too. But if you look at me that I could make a significant contribution and I would like to do it, I would be more than happy to become a brand ambassador to the Rotary. I was a brand ambassador to the Round Table, and I've done a lot of work with those people. I would be more than happy. I would be more than go out, address 250,000 people a year. And at every conference, I will say, become a Rotarian. Everybody, I'm going to shout, become a Rotarian. So
I'll buy that. I'll buy that any day.
We all buy that.
देखो सुरेश, ये बंदा रोटेरियन तो है ही है ऑलरेडी.
ये दिल से
रोटरी का मेंबर नहीं है. उससे क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है? He may not be a member of a Rotary Club, but he is surely a Rotarian at heart, absolutely.
आप मेरे को utilize me anytime, anywhere you want for fundraising, membership drive, whatever you want. I'm always there, but do utilize me, not in the just namesake. Utilize me for purpose, and I will certainly talk.
You know, Suresh, yesterday Shiv and I had a chat, a Zoom meeting. And what he said, I can't believe. He said, Shekhar, if you will want, मैं शिकागो आके रह जाऊंगा आपके लिए. 1 साल तक शिकागो आके रह जाऊंगा. जो बोलोगे मैं वो कर दूंगा. Really, very nice. Deeply appreciate. Excellent speech. Let me tell you, Shiv, 1.5 घंटे का मेरे दिन में 15 Zoom meetings करता हूँ. It is impossible for me to spend 1.5 hours listening to any speaker. I did it only for Shiv Khera.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
My pleasure, absolutely.
Shivji was to attend
Very
my
nice.
function on 1st of July, but because of his intestinal problems, he was admitted into the hospital. He could not join on that day. Shivji, we wish you best of luck, best of health, and best of happiness.
Grateful to all of you. Grateful to all of you. Thank you, sir. I'll take your leave.
Now I request Vinodji, over to Rohit Jain.
Wow. I think I can say on behalf of the entire audience, online, on Facebook, wherever they're listening to him, this was a mesmerizing talk and a very, very thought-provoking, motivational talk. And I have lost track of the accolades, the questions, the various queries from the audience here. I just hope Vinodji is being able to keep track on that. I'll hand this mic over to Vinodji to moderate a very, very small question answer session with Shiv Khera ji.
Thank you, Rohit. Friends, I think we could not have asked for more. What we have experienced in the last more than 2 hours of 2 wonderful people coming in today and giving us 2 divergent aspects of what we can look at our lives and the way the humanity serves the community. You see, our own leader, Shekhar Mehta ji, speaking on Rotary Building the Nation, which is not a pipe dream, but actually he is one person who is trying to make it come true with the kind of vision which he has created for every single Rotarian of our country. And of course, someone like a legend like Shiv Khera ji, who has probably gives us much better things to look forward to. And you see, although because there is a lot of time has been taken, but there are a few questions which are there. So I'll just restrict myself to 2 questions each to both of them. And simple questions, of course, what have been asked, but I will like you to answer. And my first question will be to our incoming Rotary leader, Shekhar Da. And my question is that how do we intend to scale up and execute such gigantic tasks of the nation building when Rotary has till now taken care of the needs of the communities only at the local level and on a much smaller and a scattered scale? So how do we scale up this wonderful vision which you have given for the next 5 years, of course, in different aspects? I will like you to just elaborate a little for the benefit of the Rotarians. Shekhar.
Good, excellent question. I'm happy you asked this question. So what we did was, and I must thank this lockdown. This lockdown of 2 months helped me do the work of 1 year. I would work just day before yesterday. I was just एक दिन में calculate कर रहा था मैं कितने घंटे काम कर रहा था. That day before yesterday, I was working for 16 hours, and I must have had 15 Zoom meetings in that. The result has been over the 2 months. In India, we have set up an entire structure to achieve these goals. This structure has about 250 past governors involved in the program planning, visualizing what is needed. We've had think tank meetings. We've got experts from various fields. So हमने अगर वाटर सैनिटेशन की मीटिंग करी, सैनिटेशन के मिनिस्टर को, उनका जो टॉप ब्यूरोक्रेट है इंडिया के, उनको बुलाया, उनसे राय ली. We got 5 of the best organizations working for this. World Vision is our partner, Aga Khan Foundation, Sulabh International, PhD Chamber. So these are all people who we have consulted. After consulting, for example, when it came to water, we got Mr. Rajendra Singh, who is the water warrior of India. So such people, we've taken their views. We formulated programs. So just like we have the Teach program for literacy, we have STAR program for environment, we have a water program for water resources, etc. So all this has been developed. These goals that I was telling to you have been firmed up in consultation with each of these people. Every district में हर president को ये goal पहुंच गया है. Again, courtesy lockdown. Whichever district has had level 2 meetings, level 1 में district के जो people हैं उनको बताया गया, and at level 2 every president has known about all these 8 verticals that we have started. So everybody now knows what is to be done. How it is to be done also is being told to them. If at all you have a problem, go to rotaryindia.org. वहां पर click करिए Rotary India Humanity Foundation. Click there and look for water if you have to look for water. Click for literacy if you have to click for literacy. You will get the phone numbers of the people you can contact. The chairman, co-chairman, etc. People who are supposed to be looking after your district, उनका नाम भी वहां पर रहेगा. आप उनसे contact करिए. They are there to help you out. So पहले goal set कर लिया हमने. अब हम उसके लिए funds भी हम भी try कर रहे हैं. आप भी try करिए. There will be many occasions where we will give you 1:1 match. जिस दिन पता चले 1:1 मैच है, जंप एट इट. डू नॉट इवन वेट फॉर 1 डे. कोई बोले कि हम 50 चेक डैम कर रहे हैं दिल्ली के आसपास, सपोज थियोरेटिकली, और उसमें 1:1 मैच है, देयर शुड बी अ रेस बिटवीन क्लब्स. आई वांट टू डू 2, आई वांट टू डू 5, आई वांट टू डू 10 चेक डैम. सो we are helping the message to go right down to every Rotarian so that they can participate in this program.
Thank you, Shekhar Da. Coming back to Shiv Khera ji, what a mesmerizing and an excellent talk. Probably it's very difficult to bind the people for such a long period if in case you cannot inspire and motivate them. And in the end, what you mentioned about one community of 6 was something which I fully endorse and say that yes, they are of the pride of our nation. But also I must mention that there is one more community, and that community is the Rotarian community.
Yes, sir.
Which probably has been serving the humanity and different communities, see, for the last 115 years. And but my question is very different from what it is, and somebody, one of our listeners have put it across. How do you handle egoistic and arrogant people?
That's a tough one. You see, let me share with you. See, people who are egoistic, there's two kinds of egos. One is I know it all ego, arrogance. The second is fragile ego. Anything you say, I take it personally, I get hurt. Means they're suffering from what? Inferiority complex. They're out to prove something to the world. That's exactly what I said. That is where you need to build high self-esteem. In our leadership program, we spend 5 hours in our leadership program only addressing the self-esteem issue. Because you see, somewhere they are not at peace with themselves. They are out to prove something. They have an identity crisis. I just shared with you the example of Charlie Chaplin. You see, I accept myself the way I am. Does not mean arrogance, does not mean complacence, and does not mean take it or leave it. But it is saying, I am not perfect, but I accept myself the way I am. I have to prove you nothing. I have to prove you nothing. And that is really what you need to do, is bring awareness to such people. And then they, after you bring awareness, they must have the desire to keep one thing in mind. And another important thing, very important, a person with low self-esteem, inferiority complex, they are neither good leaders nor good followers. I repeat, they are neither good leaders nor good followers. You know why? They will compromise values for ulterior motives anytime. Therefore, you cannot trust them. And if you cannot trust them, how can they be a good leader? Nor can be a good follower. So it is very important. It's not a one-liner answer, but yes, I would be more than happy through the Rotary, do the leadership programs wherever you want for your institutes, whenever you want it, let me know. We do it.
Thank you. My one small personal last question from Shekhar Da. I don't know how much the listeners know, but he is a man who works at least 20 hours a day. My only question from Shekhar Da, because I've seen you working for the last many, many years on the same pattern day in, day out. Where do you get this much of energy from?
So, एक दिन किसी ने मेरे से पूछा, and my answer is, I get this energy because I am happy.
Good.
खुश हो तो बस एनर्जी रहती है. खुश इसलिए है कि काम कुछ अच्छा कर रहे हैं इसलिए खुश है. Doing it for others, not for myself. So I'm happy. If I'm happy, I have the energy.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Can I add something to this?
Sure, yeah, sure. Please do. Please do.
एक चीज ध्यान दीजिएगा अपना विनोद जी.
हाँ जी.
Nobody gets energy, we release energy.
Yes.
दोबारा से मैं कहता हूँ. We never get energy, we always release energy. आप देखिए, एक बच्चा स्कूल से आता है, 2:30 बजे अपना खाना वाना खा के लेटा हुआ है, कहता ओ थक गया, I'm tired. All of a sudden he gets a call from a friend. Why don't let's go out play cricket? एकदम he jumps up from the bed and he runs. अरे 5 मिनट पहले तो मर रहा था भाई, तो क्या हो गया? And all of a sudden the guy jumps up and says, yo, I want to go and play with my friend. So he got energy or released energy. Remember one thing, we never get energy from anybody. Anywhere outside, we always release energy. And he's right, you get energy by getting the feeling I'm making a contribution. You know something? The death is not a tragedy. For a human being, death is not a tragedy. A purposeless life is the biggest tragedy.
Yes, well said. Absolutely.
What a wonderful thing to say. Great.
Absolutely. And
I'll remember that.
I'm a strong believer in what he said. मैं कई बार सोचता हूँ, करोड़ों लोग दुनिया में आते हैं, करोड़ों चले जाते हैं. तुम यहाँ आए हो किसी पर्पस के लिए, उस पर्पस को तो निभा के जाओ.
बिल्कुल ठीक है. बिल्कुल. I fully endorse and agree. And my last question to Shiv Khera ji, of course, that this is the last one. Then you can quickly answer, and after that we will just finish off. That both success and failure are the decisions the people take. both success and failure are the decisions sometimes the people take. How does one make the right decision?
Now, Vinod, I would request you, what my experience has shown me two things.
Sir.
One, remember, in life, decisions are important. But you know something more important than the decision is the decision-making process. I repeat, decision is important, but more important than decision is the decision-making process. Now, if your process is, first of all, there is nobody in this world who makes 100% correct decisions. But if your process is right, chances are 8 out of your 10 decisions will be right. Even if your process is right, still nobody gets 100% right. And if your process is incorrect, 8 out of 10 times, your decisions will be incorrect. By default, you might get 2 right, but that is not the way to take a decision in life.
Absolutely.
Now, are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. Now, 2 more things. Decisions are made based on underlying things. Why do some people take right decisions, some people take wrong decisions? Decisions are based on 1, principles in life, 2, priorities in life. I repeat, principles in life and priorities in life. And second thing is that guides a decision, risk and reward. So these 4 elements, principles and priorities, and 2, risk and reward, they help you guide a decision in life. And that's about it.
Fantastic. Thank you.
So,
And
Vinod,
with those words, I must, yes, sir.
decisions लेता है आदमी at times इसलिए नहीं ले पाता कि with the fear of failure. And it's very important for Rotarians. Don't worry. I would rather that you have big dreams, 10 big dreams and fail in 6 of them, than you have 2 big dreams and pass in both of them. हम दूसरों का भला करने जा रहे हैं. 6 में भला करें, that is more important. Let me tell you, the biggest successes in life have been the biggest failures.
बिल्कुल.
अमिताभ बच्चन को ऑल इंडिया रेडियो ने कहा आपकी वॉइस अच्छी नहीं है, we cannot take you. This man who went to this company, engineering company में इंटरव्यू देने गया तो उसको लिया नहीं, उसने कहा चलो मैं होंडा मोटर शुरू कर देता हूँ. And if you want to see the mother of all failures, go today and Google Abraham Lincoln's failures. You will not find a bigger failure in life, and you will not find a bigger success in life.
Absolutely.
Let's not get deterred by failures. Failures, they say, are pillars of success. लेकिन अपना घर बनाना सिर्फ pillars मत रख लेना उसमें.
Success is.
किसी ने बहुत अच्छी बात कही है. The greatest masters were the greatest disasters when they started.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Masters were the greatest disasters when they started. और एक और चीज जरूरी है, याद रखिएगा, indecision is also a decision. By default.
Yes.
Anyway, I think it's been great to be with all of you.
It's absolutely fantastic. I think all our listeners, I must say, would have been greatly delighted hearing 2 wonderful people giving their pearls of wisdom and enriching us with their experience and thoughts. And with that, I will hand it over to Rohit.
Thank you.
Guys, I'll take your leave now.
If you could stay back for 2 minutes more. We like to formally thank you for being here, you and Mr. Khera, and really giving us a very, very good motivational talk. And may I request past Governor Raman Bhatia ji to do the honors, please?
Thank you, Rohit. Mr. Shiv Khera, you are our valued guest, sir, today. And what a pleasure it has been listening to you. Like every time in the past, I'm sure all of us present in this virtual meeting have heard you with rapt attention, and by digesting every word you have said or spoken, we learn so much always from your wisdom and the thoughts you so kindly share with us. We in Rotary, here in District 3011, thank you for sparing your valuable time and look forward to meeting you and hearing you once again in the real world very soon. As a dear friend of Rotary, you have offered us so much today. In return, we can only say thank you for being here, for offering your time, for offering all the good we are doing and to becoming a part of it. And what Shekhar Mehta ji said about you, I mean, that's really the icing on the cake. I mean, can you imagine you have offered to give of your time a year during his presidency in Evanston in Chicago? I mean, who could have ever thought of that? That is magnanimity at its highest. Thank you, Shivji. You've been a true friend. And I just want to, I was reminded of a prayer which we used to do in Rotary many years ago, which I'm not going to say, it's too long. But St. Francis of Assisi, in his prayer, has said, it is in giving that we receive. And that is the Mool Mantra today on the premise on which Shekhar ji is taking Rotary in this country and in the world towards. That in giving, it is in giving that we receive. So thank you, Shivji, and thank you, my dear friend and incoming world leader, Shekhar Mehta. Since you are part of our family, I brought you second. Guests always come first. But thank you to these two great luminaries, to these great visionaries who have spent over 2.5 hours, nearly 3 hours with us today. And all of us are really beholden to you. Thank you and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ramanji. Now, may I
Thank you very
request Sureshji to formally adjourn the meeting?
Friends, next week on the Saturday, we are going to have another very prominent speaker. So they will be speaking on the economy in the present scenario. I request everyone to please join. The link will be sent to you on Monday or Tuesday. And on 21st, we are having district culture program. It will be 3 hours. And you can send your performances, your songs, your videos, skits and other things. And also about the work you have done during the year. Thank you very much. And my special thanks to Shiv With this, I adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you all, and bye till we meet again. Thank you so much.